Hey you guys, it's Shell Bella. I'm gonna wait a little while. Excuse me if it's too bright. Okay, I want to start by saying a lesson is only a lesson if you can learn from it. Excuse me if there's an echo, I'm in my bathroom. Um, I just had a couple of things on my mind that I wanted to get out. Um, so here we go. I wanted to discuss things that I would have done differently, things I would have changed, and what I think about the whole tubal reversal TTC process right now. So things I would have changed. And just because you change them don't mean you regret them. It's just, it's a life lesson. If I would have had to go back, would I've done it? No. Things I would have changed would have been my tubal reversal doctor. Let me let me clarify that. With Dr. Maurice, he's considered one of the best. Hey, honey, he is considered one of the best tubal reversal doctors that's out here now. Let me just move you closer. I'm trying to get rid of this whole glare that's right here. He's considered one of the best tubal reversal doctors, yes. But the things I would have known before choosing him, I think would have made all the difference in the world, and it would have minimized the heartache. I did, I want to say, surface research concerning Dr. Maurice, but I didn't dig deep as much as I should have. Um, I went to Dr. Maurice November 21st, and one of the first things that they do is an ultrasound. I did not know that I had PCOS appearance until it was time for me to conceive. It wasn't communicated with me. The person who did my ultrasound didn't say, hey, have anyone ever told you you had, PCOS appearance? It was lack of communication. I did not find out that it was it was potentially that I had PCOS until it was time for me to conceive. Also, I wish I would have known that the doctor does not communicate with his patients after the procedure is done. It made me feel like you took my money, you came in here, you gave me a couple of smiles, sold me a dream, and then after you had my money, procedure was done, you was MIA. I did not see you, did not hear from you, and something as complex as tubal reversals, there needs to be more communication between patient and doctor, not nurse and patient, because my biggest concern was Dr. Maurice went in, he did my surgery. He's the one that physically touched my ovaries, touched my uterus, cut into me. So I feel like he was a fresh set of eyes that could have said, okay, Michelle, this is what I seen with my own eyes, as opposed with Miss Margie, she's reading off of a chart. Also, I wish I would have done more testing before and more testing after. Um, we have the perception that we got pregnant before with no problem, it won't be a problem now. I feel like I wish I would have went for an ultrasound. I wish I would have went for more blood work before my tubal reversal. That way, when it came down to the before the reversal and after the reversal, I would have been better informed, better educated. Now, with me being told that I had PCOS, one of the reasons why I wish I didn't go with Dr. Maurice is because once I was told that my ovaries had PCOS appearance, I was not informed, or I was not told by Miss Margie, hey, go do blood work done. Go get blood work done, go get blood work and go get an ultrasound. I was just automatically given metformin. And I just feel like you gave me a medication off of the pretense that I could possibly have PCOS. Now, metformin is for diabetics. If I'm not insulin resistant, me taking metformin will do more harm than it would do good for me. So I just feel like the fact that I was just given metformin without you really knowing if I needed it or not was very unprofessional. It was, you know, to me, it was very unprofessional. You didn't do blood work. I feel like she should have said, hey, go have blood work done. Let's see what your blood work look like, and then we'll go from there. If it shows that I am insulin resistant, put me on the metformin. Let's check back in 3 months and see what happened. That wasn't done for me. And I just feel like, yes, I'm still under my year of trying to conceive, but I wish I would have not waited my 2 months. I wish I would have started right away. And also, I just wish that I did my research on what could have happened, the success rate, the chances of my tubes becoming blocked, the chances of me not being able to ovulate on my own. It's just a lot of things I wish I could have changed. You know, it's just mind-boggling. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at, okay, you know, I also wish that my husband was more prepared. And just because I say more prepared, I don't mean more prepared as if he doesn't want a baby or whatever. You know, as women, we adapt to change a lot better than men. We adapt to, this has to get done right now. We have a time clock. Men don't have time clocks. So one of the things that I faced trying to conceive was, this has to be done right now. And as a man, it's like, when you tell them something has to be done, it's more or less, okay, well, not right now, but right now, are you sure right now? I feel like it put a big strain on my relationship because it was more or less, pee on the stick, it's a positive, let's go, 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 go. And, you know, I don't feel like my husband was prepared for that mountain of rush. I don't think he was prepared for, I think he pretty much felt that we can lay down anytime and have sex and have a baby. I don't think as a man they understood the magnitude of what was required to get pregnant. I also wish I would have maybe sat down and I'm talking about in the beginning, not before my tube reversal, but I wish I would have sat down with other women who were having infertility issues to get a broad spectrum of what is going on, the possibilities of what can be done, and, you know, stuff like that. I feel like, you know, as women, we look at ourselves as broken. Our natural instinct is to blame ourselves. If something don't work with us, it's to blame ourselves instead of reaching out to other people and seeing what you know, just letting yourself know that you're not the only one. This is not your fault. I've had people who ask me what pushed me towards IVF. What pushed me towards IVF is that I found myself falling into a depression. I found myself, you know, years ago I used to be teased and you know, my family used to call me fertile myrtle, and, you know, you get kissed and you get pregnant. So, you know, me believing that, hey, if I go ahead and have my tubes untied, I'll be pregnant in no time. And then now we hitting 9-10 months in, it just sent me into a depression. And sometimes it's like, what can I do to get me out of this depression? You have to put your mind somewhere else, put your soul somewhere else, put your thought process somewhere else. And I just feel like, you know, yes, it might be too soon for some of you to even consider IVF. But for me, I just feel like that is my better option. That is my best option. That's not keeping me from TTCing on my own. That's not keeping me from saying, okay, well, I can't try to conceive naturally. I'm just saying what's best for me. And what's best for me might not be best for you, financially, mentally, physically. I just feel like, yes, I'm impatient. I want right now. I don't want to wait. I feel like 9 months, 10 months was long enough to wait. And I just feel like, you know, I'm tired of the medication. I'm tired of being sick and feeling like my ovaries is going to blow up inside of me and stuff like that. And I just want answers. And I just feel like Dr. Maurice did not provide enough answers. He does not provide enough answers for his patient. He's just pretty much, okay, I'm going to take your money, I'm going to do your surgery, and I'm going to go. And that's one of the reasons why I did not have my tubal reversal in Mexico. I did not have my tubal reversal in Mexico because my biggest thing, and if you look back in other videos, is that I wanted to be able to communicate with my doctor. I did not want to have a language barrier. I did not want to get home and can't call someone if something was wrong. And that's potentially what's going on. I can't call Dr. Maurice. I have not spoken to Dr. Maurice since November 21st, an hour before my surgery. I have not spoken to him. I feel like a number. I just feel like you took my money. You didn't tell me that I had PCOS appearance, which you could have told me before my surgery. That would have gave me a better insight of what I wanted to do or what I needed to do. And then, you know, the fact that when I came back and went to my doctor and had a scan and had blood work done, and my GYN said, hey, there's no possible way you can have PCOS, we don't see it, and I bring that knowledge to you, you tell me my doctor's wrong. So I just feel like I want to regroup. I want to feel normal again. No, I don't regret going to Dr. Maurice. A lesson is only a lesson, only if you can learn from it. But I just feel like I want my time. And IVF is not going to guarantee me time, but I feel like it's going to be a step in the right direction. I was also asked by somebody, what if the IVF don't work? If the IVF don't work, you know what? It's going to be the end of my journey. I have 4 beautiful kids. I have a loving husband. And I just feel like if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But in the same breath, my tubes are open. From what my GYN said, I'm very healthy. I do ovulate. I don't need the medication. So it won't be the end of my road. I will still be able to TTC. I just, you know, whatever. What else? Someone asked me, how did I find Dr. Garza? How did I find Dr. Garza? And what was my reasoning for choosing him? I found Dr. Garza by mistake. I was looking up IVF in Mexico and his Facebook page popped up. And I've been following his group for a little while now. And I pretty much went in his group. I read the reviews. And this is the thing that I like about Dr. Garza's group. Regardless whether women get pregnant or not, they never have anything bad to say about this man. There's a woman in the group, she went for 3 IVFs, and never once did she place the blame game on Dr. Garza on what he could have done, what he didn't do, what he should have done. It's always good things, and I like that. I like that, you know, I did see a couple of bad reviews, and I like the fact that this is his group, and even with the bad reviews, they did not take the bad reviews down. They're still up there. You can still read them. It wasn't like a cover-up job. A lot of these groups, like the Dr. Maurice group, they'll probably delete me, but fuck it, I don't care. Like the Dr. Maurice group, if you go in there and you say anything bad or negative about the doctor, they will delete you. They will remove you from the group and they will block you. And I just feel like, how can you choose a doctor based off of reviews if the reviews are being smudged because someone else don't like it? There is no option of opinion in these groups on what the doctor's like or stuff like that. You know, sometimes seeing a bad review will help you make the best decision on whether you want to go with the doctor or not. And, you know, I just feel like you don't have that option in these other tubal reversal groups. Another person asked me, am I afraid of having multiples? Yes and no. Do I want multiples? No, but is there a chance I can have multiples? Absolutely, there's a chance with anything. I have twins now. I was pregnant with triplets. One passed away. I have my twins. They're now about to be 13. You know, I just feel like beggars can't be choosy. I can't just all of a sudden say, hey, I want IVF, but no, I don't want twins. Dr. Garza does indeed put 2 embryos back inside of you. So there is a big chance that I could have twins. And, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having multiples. And you know what? As human beings, we can adapt. I will adapt to it because I have no choice but to adapt. Someone asked me about my travels, how I'm traveling, what I'm doing, you know, stuff like this. I am going to be staying in Brownsville I'm going to be staying there anywhere between 14 to 18 days. Someone asked me why won't I stay in Mexico. I just feel like it's a different country, and I would feel safer being in the States as opposed of staying across the border. Not that it would make a difference, it's right next to the border. Someone asked me, where am I staying? I have a choice between two hotels, but both hotels have a kitchen. Any hotel I stay in, I want to be able to make sure that I can cook my own food, because that is going to save on cost. I want to be able to cook my own food, and I want to have a comfortable bed. Those are my two things: comfortable bed and be able to cook my own food, and of course to be safe. If it's safe and clean, everything else will fall into place. Somebody asked me, am I renting a car? No, I don't think I'm renting a car. I think the only time I am going to rent a vehicle is when Steve has to come to give his donation. But other than that, I am not going to rent a car. I'm going to take my time while I'm there to read, catch up. I'm supposed to be starting school in a month, so I'm going to catch up on, study on my entrance exam. And I'm just going to solely relax. I'm not there to sightsee. I'm not there to have a good time. I'm there on a mission, and I just feel like if I stay in that hotel and I relax and I gather myself, the chances of my process being successful, and this is just all of a thought, it's not fact, would be better for me. Someone asked me, am I going to pay in pesos or am I going to pay in dollars? I am considering on going to my bank and having at least $500 converted into pesos. I did do my research, and it's cheaper if you buy your medication in pesos than dollars. And also, I have a cousin, she's in the military, and she was explaining to me that I can open up a bank account in Mexico where I can have money go into there, so that way I can swipe my bank card, my bank account card that's located in Mexico, instead of swiping my bank card from the States, as a safety precaution. Someone asked me, am I traveling over there with money? A large amount of money. The only time I'm going to travel over there with a large sum of money is the day of egg retrieval. Dr. Garza does not. It's a pay as you go. So when I go on cycle day 2 or 3, I only have to pay for my medication, and then you only pay for IVF with the egg retrieval. So I only have to pay the $2,925 the day of egg retrieval. So it's not like I have to go there with a large sum of money and pay it right then and there. Someone asked me, how is the transportation? Dr. Garza does have a driver. You let Dr. Garza know where you're going to be staying, and his driver will come and get you, and stuff like that. Someone also asked me, how is it to get across the border? I don't know. I have a passport. I don't know if you can get in with a birth certificate and social. I have a passport, so that's what I'm going to use to get over the border, to cross the border. Let me see. Someone asked me, is it a regular IVF or is it a mini? I'm pretty sure it's just a mini. I don't really know the process too tough. Sorry, my light came on. I don't know the process too tough. I'm still doing my research. Like I said in my last video, I spoke to the doctor. He has placed me on, where is my, well, I guess I left it in the room. He has placed me on birth control. And my biggest issue with birth control is that I was reading that some women, once they stop it, their cycles don't come. So when I speak to Dr. Garza, I'm going to bring up that issue of, if I stop my birth control and my cycle don't come, what do I do? Also, someone was asking me, if I take birth control and I have to be there on cycles day 2 or 3, what days would I fly out? If I stop my birth control on November 20th, that's when I'm planning on stopping. I'm going to fly out on the 23rd, regardless whether my cycle starts or not. That way I can be there for when my cycle starts. I don't want to start bleeding today and have to fly out tomorrow. I want to be there. I don't want the stress. I want all my blood work to come back okay, and I want to get the ball rolling. Someone asked me, are you awake during egg retrieval? No, I'm not awake during egg retrieval. They will sedate you. That sounds like an animal. They will put you to sleep. Also, someone asked me, after egg retrieval, how soon can I go home? I'm not sure if you can go home the next day, but me, myself, after my egg retrieval, not my egg retrieval, the embryo transfer, after the embryo transfer, how soon can you go home? I'm not sure about that. I've heard people say they left the next day. Me, myself, I'm gonna stay an additional 4 days, 4 to 5 days. I just feel like, I don't want to interrupt implantation happening by carrying my suitcase, putting my suitcase in the car, putting my suitcase up on the belt, walking through the airport or whatever it may be. I want to be as stress-free as possible, so I am going to stay the extra days so that way I could be stress-free, I could be calm and stuff like that. Also, while I'm out there, my mom is going to be dealing with the kids, taking the call from the kids, anything like that, so that way I don't have to deal with the stress. I don't have to worry about who's doing what, who's doing this, who's doing that. You know how your kids will call you and bug the shit out of you. So I'm going to be stress-free. I'm not going to be taking any calls, but I will be vlogging. And then when the process is over, I'm going to put all the videos, whether it be good, bad, the ugly, I'm going to put all the videos together and I'm going to upload them. Also, and I was talking to my good friend Patrice Walker about this, Dr. Garza wants me to take the 21 pills, skip the sugar pills, and start on a different pack because I did inform him that I wanted to come the last week of November and the first week of December. I think after the 21 pills, I am going to stop, which means my cycle can start sooner than the 20th, which means I will be going sooner than the 20th. It's still up in the air. I haven't confirmed it. It's a touch and go thing right now. Someone asked me, is Steve going with me the first day? No, he's not going with me. He's only coming when it's time for him to give his donation, and then he's coming back home. So this is how I planned it. I planned for him to come, give a donation, and then maybe stay 2 or 3 days, and then give another donation and go home. The first donation they'll freeze. The second donation will be a fresh donation, and we can do it like that. Someone else asked me, if I have any leftover embryos, what am I going to do with them? I'm going to donate them. I don't see myself wanting to have any more after this. It's up in the air. I don't know. But whether I have more or not, if I decide that I don't want to use them, I am going to donate them. I know some people have said, why would you do that? You have kids floating out there. But let me tell you something. Anything that's meant for me is meant for me and can't be taken from me. And every blessing will be given back. There's couples out there who are looking to love a baby just as bad as I am, or even more. And I just feel like me taking those babies and destroying them would be, to me, destroying a life. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I just feel like it's very vindictive for me to think about what I would want. I wouldn't want someone else out there walking around with my kid. You know what? As long as the person loves my kid and, you know, treat them the way I would treat them, it really wouldn't matter to me. The only thing I don't like is when you do embryo donation, like when you give away your embryos, the clinic sells them. And they sell them for a pretty penny. That's the only thing that I don't like, is that they're making money hand over fist. And I'm not just saying Dr. Garza, I'm just saying the whole process in general. I wish that if I had any leftover embryos that I can just give them away and not be sold. I don't want my embryos to be sold, but of course, if you're relinquishing your rights on your embryos, that's not an option. Someone asked me how soon after the embryo transfer will I be able to take a test. That is up in the air. I was reading in a book that 9 days after transfer you'll be able to know. But I was also reading online that some people wait 14 days, which to me, it will only make sense that if it's already an embryo and they placing it directly in your uterus, that would pretty much give you a head start. Hey, honey, that would pretty much give you a head start. So maybe you could test sooner, but whatever. Somebody asked me, is it possible for the doctor to send you your medication in the States? I don't know. I didn't ask that. But I know that I was talking to another IVF doctor. I think it's at the Live Fertility Clinic. I could be having the name wrong, where they would send you your medication. But I just feel like I want to be monitored correctly. I just feel like I don't want to skip any steps in the success process. So would I want to be sent my medication and take it at home and then fly there? No. I'd rather just be there. You do what you need to do. You do your blood work. I'll come every 2 days or every other day. You monitor me and we go from there. What else? Somebody was saying, do you have to go back there for your betas? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you can have your betas checked at home and you just let the doctor know whether yay or nay. Now, here's the good part about Dr. Garza. The first IVF procedure runs about maybe $4,500. It's $2,925, and then the medication range anywhere from $900 to $1,300. God forbid that the first time don't work, the IVF process is $1,500. So it's $1,500 plus the cost of the medication, and then God forbid it don't work after that, it's $500 plus the cost of medication, I think anesthesia. Which anesthesia is only $225. So that's the good part. It's not like I'm going there paying $5,000 and then it don't work, I gotta pay another $5,000. They pretty much work with you, and it's pretty good. Someone was asking me about language barrier. Dr. Garza speaks perfect English. I spoke to him over the phone. I'm talking about clear as day. There is no language barrier. And I think that's the good part. There is no language barrier. He understands me. I understood him just fine. Okay. Someone asked me, what is my biggest fear? I don't know. I would say my biggest fear would be like any other female of not getting pregnant with the IVF, but I just feel like that's a natural thing. I don't know if I would call that a fear or what. My biggest fear is that I would have to quit this journey without succeeding. My biggest fear is that I would have to tap out and say, you know what, it's not in the cards for me to have another baby, so let me just quit. I don't know, you guys. If you guys have any questions, because I've been going on and on, ask them. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to answer questions, and I don't know, like I just sitting in my bed and I was like, this is something. Oh, someone asked me about my job. I got hire requests. It's the sector that I'm working for is called Exam 1, so I go to people's houses and I do examinations, blood work, urine, EKG, stuff like that. So I do control my own hours. I did indeed tell them that I had a prior engagement, and they understand that. So that part is good to go. What stage are you in on your journey? For those of you who are already had your surgeries done, how do you feel about your doctor? Would you have changed the doctor you was with? What are some things you wish you would have known? And like I said in the beginning, just because you change your doctor don't mean you regret it, because I know some people don't like to say they regret things, but you know, if I had to change it, these are things I would have changed. Someone asked me, do I regret having my tubes tied? No. I don't regret having my tubes tied, because that's something that needed to happen in my life. That's something that it was a part of my life where I didn't need to bring any other kids here in this world. You know, I wasn't in a good mindset where I needed more kids physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. I just didn't need any more. So if I had to do that part of my life over, would I? Yes, I would still have my tubes tied. Me and my husband wasn't in a good place at all. And you know, a lot of women say to me, Why did you have your tubes tied when you was married and now you want them untied and you still married? Because like any other thing in your life, a marriage go through stages. You go through a stage where you're madly in love. You go through stages where you question it. Why did I do this? You go through a hate stage, and then you go back into the I love you stage again. You understand what I'm saying? And anybody who say their relationship is perfect is full of shit. But you know that I mean it is what it is, ladies. It really is what it is. I hope I answered all the questions. If you have any more questions, put them in the down in the bar. Also, someone was asking me why don't I wait until January, February. I feel like that's tax season. It's gonna be a rush. I don't want to be a number. I don't want to be somebody that he's gonna say, "Let me hurry up and do this." And I feel like when you're in a rush, you make mistakes, and the chances of success is diminished rapidly. I feel like me going in November and December is not a big difference from January, February. So for anyone that feels like, hey, you should wait 2 more months or 3 more months or 4 more months, you know what? I respect that opinion, and I'm not taking it and throwing it in the garbage. But my preference is I don't want to go during tax season. But okay, ladies, I love you guys. Anybody that has a question, need to ask me anything, you can contact me at shellttcbella@aol.com. I also do have a phone number. Once you email me, I will send you that phone number if you need to go into more detail about something, or if you need to talk. You know, I mean, you just need to shoot the breeze. Sometimes people just need to talk and get shit off their chest. I'm here. Love you guys. Bye.